What happens when a high-tech artificial intelligence model meets a tiny dataset? Once upon a time, in a strange world where algorithms reign supreme, there was an artificial intelligence model named Monster Complex. Monster Complex was a beast of a model, with layers upon layers of neural networks and parameters that reached into the millions. It was designed to handle massive datasets and solve the most complicated problems. But one day, Monster Complex met Tiny Data, a dataset so small, it was like a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert. Monster Complex, with its insatiable appetite for data, looked at Tiny Data and laughed. "You're too small for me," it said. "I need a feast, and you're just an appetizer." But Tiny Data was all that Monster Complex had. So it began to train on Tiny Data. It crunched and crunched, but there was just not enough data. Monster Complex was like a giant trying to satisfy its hunger with a single crumb. Soon, Monster Complex started seeing patterns that weren't there. It started making predictions that were wildly off. It was suffering from a classic case of overfitting. It was like a ghost seeing its reflection in a mirror. It's not really there, but the ghost doesn't know that. Ooh. You see, Monster Complex was so powerful, so sophisticated, that it began to believe its own mistakes. It started to think that its incorrect predictions were the absolute truth. It was like a vampire convinced that it could go out in daylight just because it saw a picture of the sun. When it comes to machine learning models, complexity isn't always a good thing. A complex model needs a large dataset to train on. Without enough data, it might overfit and start seeing patterns where none exist. The relationship between model complexity and dataset size is like the relationship between a vampire and the sun. Get it wrong, and things can go horribly, hilariously wrong. To summarize, the key points about the relationship between model complexity and dataset size are: a complex model needs a sufficiently large dataset to avoid overfitting. Overfitting occurs when a model is so complex that it starts seeing patterns in the data that don't exist. A model that is too complex for its dataset can make wildly incorrect predictions, leading to humorous and horrifying results. So, next time you're designing a machine learning model, remember the tale of Monster Complex and Tiny Data. Balance your model's complexity with the size of your dataset, and you'll avoid this scenario.